Hi guys, back again. Here are some different instructional videos that you can use to go along with your math assignments for this week. As always, if you need to get a hold of me, your parents can get a hold of me through Class Dojo or through my email mvaw123@gmail.com. So one of the things I'd like to do is do a really quick review of the place value system with whole numbers and decimals because we're going to need it for today. So we are going to be looking at, put our place value spots up here at the top so that we can all see them really well. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. We'll go up to millions, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. Let me label those. I saw a cool video online that did it this way. Ones, tens, hundreds. Saves me a little bit of writing. Thousands. Oops, if I put all the digits on. Thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, and 100 millions. That way I'm not having to write the words for them. So we've got our place value system. Now the first thing that it asks you to do with your assignment for today is to use a number line to help you round. So let's do a couple of basic rounding pieces over here on the side. If you have a digit that ends in 0 through 4, it's going to stay the same. Okay? If it is 5 or more, it goes up 1. So here we are on the number line. So I'm going to recreate what's on your paper. You can follow along with me on your worksheets. This starts with 260,000 and goes up to 270,000. So let me get that labeled here. And then in between you have 261, 262, 263, 264, 265, 266, 267, 268, 269. So these are going to be a little bit difficult to see, but again, you have them on the page right in front of you, so you will not have to write these down, but I will do it so that we know what we're talking about. Thank you for being patient while I do this. Little tiny numbers. All right, let's read the problem that they're asking us to do. It says, example 1, the largest extreme sports competition called X Games is so popular that one year 268,390 people attended. What is 268,390 rounded to the nearest 10,000? So what we need to do is put that number here on the number line where it fits. So if we're looking at 268,390, it's going to be right about here. Then it's asking us, if we're rounding to the 100,000s place, what is this closer to? What is 268,390 closer to? 260,000 down here or 270,000 up here? Well, we can see that visually it's much closer to 270,000. So underneath it, that first blank, we're going to write 270,000 because that is what this number is closest to on the number line. So as you're filling in the blanks, your first one is going to say 270,000. The second blank, that sentence says, since 268,390 is closer to 270,000 than 260,000. So it's kind of here and then over here, just what we said. So if we round it, they're rounding to that 100,000s place. So we're going to be rounding to 270,000. With our normal rounding, we would be looking at the first digit because we're looking at the 10,000s place, right? When you look at that place, if I circle it, we have to look at the place value spot right next to it to decide what to do with it. So if we were rounding this on our own, we would be circling the 10,000s place. We would be looking at the thousands place to tell us what to do. So up here, it has an 8 next to it. 8 fits in right here. That tells us that this 6 has to go up 1. So if we're rounding this number, we're going to round it. The 2 stays the same because we're not touching that. the 6 becomes a 7, and everything after it becomes zeros. So we've used a number line and visually can see that it's closer to 270,000. If we use our regular rounding skills that we learned earlier, we're able to look at the digit next to it, know that that 6 goes up to a 7 because there's an 8 next to it, and we get the same answer. So let's go ahead and flip the page and take a look at the back. They're taking us through another problem. It says, a record was set when 569,069 people jumped up and down for 1 minute. About how many people set this record? Round 569,069 to the nearest 100,000. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the number down. They have that written down for you on the page. Here's the number that we're working with. It says to round to the nearest 100,000. So let's find the 100,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. 100,000s is right here. To know what to do with this number, we're going to look at the digit next to it, right? We know that because there's a 6 next to the 5, that tells us that that 5 is going to go up 1. So if we are rounding, the 5 goes up 1 because of the 6. So it becomes a 6, and everything after it becomes zeros. So we're going to be rounding 569,000 to 600,000. Let's follow through the problem and see how they did it. They ask us to underline the digit to the right of the place being rounded, which we did. They ask us to make our decision about what to put in our spots, which we did. We actually have the answer to number 3 right here because we did it together. So we're just filling in the blanks underneath. So about 600,000 people set this record. That's going to go in your next blank. So when they show it on a number line, you can see how 569,069 is closer to 600,000 than it is to 500,000. If you're looking on your paper, it's right here for you. Let's do a few more just for practice here at the bottom. So in the guided practice section at the bottom, it says round to the given place value position. So this is what it says. Let me come over here so you can see me a little bit better. I'm going to work right down here, okay? So number 1 says 2,221. They want us to round to the thousands. So we're going to do it just like it told us from before. If we're rounding to the thousands place, we're going to circle that spot. We're going to look to the right, right there. This 2 is going to tell us what to do. Because it's between 0 and 4, this 2 stays the same, and everything else becomes zeros. So we have rounded that to the thousands place. Let's look at the next one. 78,214. They want us to round that one to the 10,000s. So we're going to find the 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. We're going to circle that place. We're going to look to the right to see what this 8 tells us to do. It is 5 or more. That means that this 7 is going to go up 1 and become an 8. And everything after it becomes zeros. All right, one more. 581,203. And they want that one rounded to the 100,000s. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is find the hundreds, thousands place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. We're going to circle it. We're going to look to the right. So looking to the right, there's an 8 next to it. An 8 falls in this category. It's 5 or more. That tells us this 5 becomes a 6, and everything after it becomes zeros. So those are your basics for rounding whole numbers. Make sure you find the place value spot. Make sure you circle it. Look to your right. And remember, if it's between 0 and 4, that number stays the same. If it's 5 or more, it goes up 1, and everything after it becomes zeros. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me.